thing that I don't understand about Iran is like, what do we get? Like, let's say we liberate the people, which is an incredibly benevolent act, right? To free the people from a horrible regime.
Yeah.
That's great. I don't see America or any country for that matter having this like benevolent history where we're just out there trying to liberate people.
Yes.
Right?
No, come on.
Well,
we do it.
We do it.
Afghanistan.
You're right.
Iraq.
We spent what?
Honduras, Guatemala.
$20 trillion on Iraq to liberate them from the Taliban, just to give them back to the Taliban.
Exactly.
What a fucking mission that was.
Yeah. Vietnam. Forgot that one.
That's right.
Yeah.
What did we do for them? Now they just got more mopeds. That's all. The only thing that changed in Vietnam is more mopeds. Okay, so we have this situation with. I just spit right on your forehead. I know.
It was a headshot,
dude. And your forehead's so hard it didn't even absorb it. Bounced off. I just did it again. Sorry. That's so hard.
It's like a hazing ritual. You guys don't know what's going on right now.
So I guess what I'm saying, it's like they haven't even told us what the thing is in the air. Right? Like, do we go in and now we have a deal with Iran and we get half of the oil? Do we get to control where the oil goes? Like, they haven't even disclosed what the benefit is to us at all in this situation.
Yeah, I wonder if they just said it outright. If people would be like, all right, I mean, they kind of have, but if Trump was just straight up like, we need the oil. We want to control the oil. We need to control the petrodollar. We don't want China to get it. We're getting rid of these people, and we're going to control the Strait of Hormuz. Then it's like,
Honestly, I think it would be more support than it is now.
Yeah.
I don't think it would be unanimous U.S. support, but it would be more support than this like existential nuclear threat, which I just don't think works on Americans anymore.
Yeah.
I just don't get why more people aren't fucking outraged.
This is the crazy thing about Americans. Is that
no more wars, man.
No, we are. Everybody is. But like, the kind of wild things about Americans is like there'll be countries like that go death to America.
Yeah.
Right? Like Iran is like, we're death to America. And they're actively trying to make a nuclear weapon. And Americans are still like, man, you don't hate us like that. Like, you don't really hate us, bro. Like, you don't really hate. Like, do you think that? I don't even think they hate us like that. Like, the dude is like, we're death to America. I'm like, you don't feel that way, bro.
It's how most dudes feel about lesbians. You know what I mean? They're like, I hate men. You're like, come on.
Come on.
You haven't met me.
The hot ones. The hot ones.
You haven't even met your boy. You know what I'm saying?
The more solid ones, you're like, I believe you believe that.
Yeah.
But the hot ones, you're like, come on, who hurt you, man? That is the American arrogance.
Yeah.
Like, we don't think, why would you want to bomb them? What you going to watch on TV? Like, what are you going to watch? Like, what is news going to be without us shaking shit up and making things interesting every day for you? You ever go to another country and they just follow American news?
No.
Oh, yeah.
We got to tax them for that shit. Like, we need to get a little of the YouTube rights. If you're just covering us all day on your news.
Yeah.
That is crazy. American news is syndicated.
Everywhere. So I had Australian news companies reaching out for a comment on some American shit. And I'm like, why? What is going on? Ask me about Street Fighter. Like, why are we asking about how I feel about America and Australia?
Did you do it? Did you do it?
No, I didn't do that shit.
Oh.
I need my petrodollar, bro. No. But like, yeah, I just think it's like there has to be. I guess Americans, we don't fear it, and that's a good thing. You know, it's been a long time since there's been this major attack on American soil. Like obviously we had 9/11, but even 9/11, I think most Americans are like, we might have had some involvement in that.
Well, now
we know. So now you can't
that's
even.
what people say.
Yes, but now you can't even evoke that. But you know what I mean? Yeah. Like you can't even evoke that to get us worried about it happening again because we're more worried about our own government doing it.
Yep. Yep.
Right? Like, so I think it's like you got to be super honest. And if the honest strategy is, I mean, look, the honest strategy, what the internet thinks is like, hey, this is really beneficial for Israel. They seem like the biggest beneficiary.
I mean, which it is.
Yeah.
But I think there's probably other things, if I had to guess.
Well, that's, I think what you were saying about like controlling the Strait of Hormuz and controlling oil exports from Iran and being able to, this idea that we're going to like cripple China by having all the oil, it's like, okay, well then how are we going to get fucking video games? Like how are we going to get jeans? How are we going to get shirt? Like China and America are so dependent on one another for things that we actually can't cripple them without crippling ourselves.
But it's a game of chicken. It's
that's the trade war.
Who's willing to suffer a little bit more.
That's what we're doing now. We're trade war.
Exactly. But like it allows us to give some leverage. I think that's what happens. Like if we were to go to like a real hot war with China and we have control of this oil that we let China get freely, all of a sudden we could potentially restrict that and there is like a leverage play there.
I mean, I think China said something earlier this year in a negotiation with Trump. I mean, this is like one article that I read, so I don't know what exactly is going on. But they basically were like in a negotiation with some trade thing, and they were basically like, we're going to give you no rare earths. And America was like, what? And so the average person was kind of just like a little like blip in an article.
Yeah.
But apparently, according to like this one economist, that is basically like a nuclear option for trade. Like, hey, we're going to cut you off from rare earths. It's basically just like, you guys are done and it's war. And it was a massive thing. And then they were able to like kind of backpedal and like get to an agreement.
Yeah.
But the fact that they pulled that to the American, basically like envoys trying to do the trade deal, they were like, oh, so it's like that. That's how you feel. And so that was seen as like an escalating move in the negotiation.
It makes sense. And so we got to control the oil.
So all that to say, it's like, all right, now it's like time to, again, I don't like the conflict. Like, I don't think we need to be in like another war in the Middle East. But I'm trying to understand the rationale. And there's other allies in the region that kind of want it. You know, Saudi Arabia benefits massively.
Right? Because the Houthis are sponsored by Iran.
Yeah, they get like to get rid of this terror proxy. They get more control over oil. Like there's advantages. And it seems like it hurts China.
Yeah.
And if hurting China helps us, it stops a multi-front war. I don't know.
I wonder if Americans can't say it because then it looks like a blatant attack on China. So like the powers that be, like the administration can't basically say, okay, like this is the strategic reason why we're doing this. They can say that why they're doing it for Greenland. They're like, hey, we need these resources because it goes in your fucking phone or whatever. They can say Venezuela for oil. Yeah. But they can't be like, hey, we need to control the oil exports here because China gets 20% of their oil from there. And if it ever push comes to shove, we need to be able to like kind of siphon that shit off.
Yeah.
That seems like an actual...
Right, it's like a declaration. And like you need some plausible deniability.
Yes. So now they're stuck in between this rock and a hard place where they cannot give us any reason why it benefits us without pissing off China or making that declaration. And then the only reason it looks like we're in there is just because Israel needs it.
Yeah.
Right? And then naturally Americans are furious about it. Right? Because we're like, how the fuck does this benefit me? I can't afford to pay for college. I can't buy a home. I can't pay for health insurance. And we're going to spend billions of dollars on a war in a country I can't even point out on a map. How is this beneficial to me?
Yeah. Yeah. That's how they feel already.
Yeah. As they should.
What if the other GCC countries like get upset at America? Like, yo, why you keep deflecting all these bombs from hitting Israel, but you keep letting us get touched?
Well, I mean, that's what they're going to try to do, basically. It's like,
that's the Iranian strategy, you're saying?
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah,
put enough pressure on the region.
Horizontal escalation, you just put all the allies under pressure to where they just say, hey, let's get a ceasefire. Let's get a deal going. Let's do something.
Because it is kind of fucked up.
Iran to win, they just need to retain power.
Exactly. That's the W. The W isn't maintaining their military might. It's just maintaining power. The regime stays in place.
Yeah.
And we stated the goal, which was we want regime change. So if we don't get it, we lost.
Yeah.
And how would we get it besides boots on the ground? Like, isn't there no way we can get it?
I think what they're hoping is that like the people revolt again.
With no guns?
Well, not even no guns. If I'm the people, it's like, I'm not in the streets while you bombing, dickhead.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And if you say you're going to not bomb, then you're basically telling the Iranian officials that, hey, its coast is going to be clear for a little while so they can do whatever they need to do. So it's a very peculiar situation.
I just can't see a scenario where the regime is just like, oh, it's fine. You guys have it. Like, in what scenario would they give it up?
Well, again,
enough of them just keep getting murked where people go, okay, if every time we meet up, all the officials get blown the fuck up, eventually officials start going, well, I don't want to be an official anymore. I don't want to get blown the fuck up.
Oh, you think that's okay.